last night while shopping for last-minute stocking stuffers at CVS. A committee of scientists, analysts, and people who insist that Russell Wilson has a case for MVP. Listen,
no one on the committee would ever do that.
Got a case. Fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best rankings in all of sports. It's an honor and a privilege. It's another installment of Nick's Tears.
Indeed it is. Thank you, as always, for the wonderful introduction, Kevin Wildes. And we must start with the ever-growing eliminated page. Oh. And as you guys, so the Niners this week were eliminated from the tiers. The X, however, means you have been officially eliminated. And whenever a team is officially eliminated, there is an extra thing we must do. Ram the board. We must see if anyone on these officially eliminated tiers said anything about the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason. And so, well, you have Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network saying the Chargers are going to win the division. That division locked up? Is it the Chargers? Okay, you're out of it.
That one hurts, Dustin.
All right, let's see what else we have here. We have QB Confidential there. Oh, Joe Shane. Mahomes couldn't win in New York. Well, we know who certainly isn't going to be in New York, Joe Shane. So you're eliminated, my friend. And then lastly...
That was a compliment. Not to go back to
No, it wasn't. He said even Mahomes couldn't win behind this offensive line that I put together that was my job to do.
Nobody can win.
And then Wildes.
Yeah, I know.
This last one's painful.
I know, but come on.
Sorry, Caleb. You've been eliminated, my friend. Hey, his top two, Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. Stafford's still alive. Rodgers, of course, not, but Caleb, you're not either. All right, now to the tiers.
Dolphins and the Bengals hanging on.
Hanging on by a thread. Next week. And that Doucette flag football fella, and I got to check the Dallas mayoral calendar to see when the election is. Get him out of there. All right. 4 teams facing elimination this week. Bengals, Colts, Dolphins, Cardinals, all of these teams still alive. All of them must win out and get help, but they're not eliminated yet. $13 million a win. That's what it is. Wow. 7 wins, $90 million. It's technically $12.8 million a win. We rounded up for old Kirk Cousins. And talked to Kevin Clark this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He said he wonders if this offseason the person calling Kirk Cousins isn't one Kyle Shanahan. Not my take, just Kevin Clark's. Take it up with the Omaha.
Horrible take.
Force multiplier, question mark? All right, listen. Will the true franchise quarterbacks please stand up? Now, CJ is very early, but it has been a sophomore slump, I think, is fair. Now, I still believe in him and believe in his talent, but he hasn't had the year any of us expected, particularly folks that might have picked him to go to the Super Bowl or win league MVP, if you could imagine that. And then there's Justin Herbert, who, again, I believe in Herbert in 7-on-7. I believe in the arm test. I believe in a lot of the eye test stuff. But you got to play well in some big spots and beat some good teams in order to be the definitive force multiplier that I think all of us thought both of these quarterbacks were heading into this year. Media blind spots. So here's what I mean by this. I hear Colin Cowherd wax poetic about Bo Nix all year. And I'm like, man, is he watching the same games as me? And then I had a moment of clarity, Brew. I'm like, I think this is what Brew feels when he hears me talk about Geno Smith. So this is you know what? We all have our guys that we're just going to always see glass half full. Seahawks and Broncos, both 8-9 win teams. Broncos should be in the playoffs. Seahawks got some work to do. Rivalry week, or as Brew calls it, no different than the Bengals game. Can we get it up there? I think so. It'll let you guys know who it is. Oh, no, I skipped that one. My apologies. That's next. Come for the quarterback. Thanks, guys. That's my fault. Come for the quarterback. Meaning, I don't really love right now these two teams as full teams. I don't think either defense is super reliable. They both have one great receiver now. The Bucks, Godwin's hurt. Good running games with it. But the reason that these teams are interesting is both of their quarterbacks at various points this year have just been utterly dynamic. Yep. Baker's top 6 in basically every category. Jaden, after the rib-induced slump, I felt like bounced back nicely. And so if they're going to do anything, either one of these teams in the playoffs, it's going to have to be because of the quarterback play. Now, I skipped the come for the quarterback. My apologies. Rivalry week, Steelers-Ravens. Now, I know a lot of people find it outrageous to have the Steelers and Ravens on the same tier. But oddly, it's because the Ravens are so clearly, obviously, a better team than Pittsburgh, even though they played, the Steelers won, and the Steelers have a better record. Steelers have a better defense and a better coach. But set that aside. This is the game of the week this week, in my opinion. I believe it's on Fox, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And if the Steelers win, very weird spot for our friends at Netflix, because then they lock up the division. The Chiefs maybe lock up the 1 seed this week if the Bills stub their toe. If the Ravens win, of course, then that division is going to come down to the wire. Long season. Here's what I mean. It was all good just a few weeks ago for Detroit. They were the point differential champs. They were the Super Bowl favorites. They have now, since then, unfortunately, the defense has been devastated by injury, and you can see it on the field. The Rams, on the other hand, went to the bye at 1-4, seemingly left for dead. Since then, since week 5, they have been 1 game in the standings worse than Detroit. They are getting better at the right time, while Detroit's going backwards, unfortunately, at this moment. And right here today, if they were to play, I think that's a coin flip game. This moment, given how both teams, what their current health statuses are. So it felt like the Rams were done 2 months ago. It felt like the Lions were rolling 1 month ago. A lot can change. Top to bottom teams. Brew, shout out to your Packers. Finally getting some respect on the tiers, some real respect. Hard to find a real weakness with either of these teams. Like, it's hard to find a A+ with either of these teams, as far as just the player, some players can be, but as far as unit. But it's very well coached, really good teams. All right. Funk averted. My Eagles. They were border. If last week had gone poorly, Brew, they were on funk watch going into it. Absolutely. Instead, they roll Pittsburgh. Same story, different ending question mark. My Bills. Listen, we've seen this. They're the hottest team in December. Josh Allen's an MVP candidate, if not front runner. We've seen that story literally each of the last 4 years. The question is it going to have a different ending? And then championship mentality atop the tiers. Of course, my Chiefs. It's amazing. My 3 teams atop the tiers. And it's just, oh, Mahomes is hurt. Oh, maybe they don't need this game. Maybe they rest. No. Football players play. And that's been their mentality all year. Like Wild said about the Empire State Building, is today the day I go? No, it's not. Is today the day the Chiefs take it easy? No, it's not.
I have an update.
What's that?
I looked at my calendar.
Yeah?
Not going to.
Oh, today's not the day?
Not going to Empire
What's
State.
up, Brew? What's wrong?
When I said football players play years ago with Baker in Cleveland, y'all killed me.
Brew.
No, you can't read.
Brew, we're not
I'm
rehashing.
just saying.
He's talking about Baker.
I'm
when he
with
had been
that.
showing
Football players play.
Brew, this was
Y'all killed me on that.
This was a pandemic era take.
Yeah.
Let it
When
go.
when Baker broke his throwing shoulder.
It was 3
Is he a
teams
football
ago.
player?
I know, but he was on the
Let it
Browns.
go.
Let it go, Brew.
Should he play?
No one's
What
thinking
they-
about that.
Greg,
You know what? Since you're talking about Baker, I'm gonna talk about Baker.
wow. You're going to switch it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Baker too, but for a different reason, because I'm gonna focus on my Super Bowl pick, Texans. And I'm going to look at those Bucks and say, man, get the Buck out of here.
Okay, I don't know if that's
Get the Buck out of here. Swap them with the
something. Christina?
No, that was me.
It was Dusty.
Look, let me tell you
I know
something.
it was Dusty because
Someone's going to have a meeting
Dusty
about
got
that.
some
What? They're the Bucks.
Yeah,
profane
I get it.
bars
Yeah.
today.
Look,
Trust
when
me.
you look at the Texans, and I get it, it hasn't been sexy. Offensively, you question CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he what you got on him? Is he a force multiplier? Well, you know what? He's been having to do a lot, and he has been on his back a lot. However, offense struggling, still finding ways to win. You know what other team offense struggling, still find ways to win? And we say, man, they just know how to win. Those Kansas City Chiefs. You know what they lean on? Their defense. That's what this team does.
What's the Texans record?
I'm just comparing that right now.
Got it.
It's not record, but this is the Bucks, and this is the Texans defensively. Because again, we're looking at the Texans. We know their offense is struggling a little bit, but let's look at their defense, which they struggled last year in the postseason. But boy, look at the Bucks and look at the Texans, 9th overall in points per game. Look at the differential here, and we got the Bucks above this Texans team at 9-5, 4th in points total yards per game, sacks, they're second. They give up a lot of sacks. They're second in giving up sacks, but they also get sacks, second in takeaways. This defense is the reason why, yes, I'm going to say it, they do still have a chance to win the Super Bowl. They're not fully asleep. They are in the postseason. I
like it,
They've won that division, have that locked up.
And it's falling apart.
Because I'm a little flustered right now. But this is my team right here. Get them up, man. Show them some respect. They're basically doing the same thing that the Baltimore Ravens are doing, sitting at 9-5.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm mad at that.
Well, I mean, I get the Ravens.
They have 3 losses against 3 spectacular teams.
Well, yeah, the types of teams you're going to have to beat come the postseason. And here's the thing.
They're all in the NFC, though, so we had to worry about them in the Super Bowl. Like I said.
Yeah, okay.
Like I said.
The Texans, I don't think with the level CJ's playing and with the shambles the offensive line has been in, have been the team any of us thought they would be this year. Now, they have been good enough to win that division, but I thought this past week was more about Miami just really playing poorly offensively.
Good defensive, good catch.
Can I ask a question? Would you say, would CJ being in this second year and them winning still these games where it's like, man, I don't know how they're winning
back-to-back division champions.
Is that not impressive? I mean, Mahomes is doing it at a better clip because he's an older guy, veteran guy. The team-wise, they're not as young. But this is a young team. This is a team that's newly kind of put together.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
Is
it not impressive?
It is impressive. I think that most of us believed, and I still believe, that for the Texans to be a true contender, it was going to have to be on the back of CJ not only doing what he did as a rookie, but improving it. And because he hasn't, and I don't think all of a sudden it's coming, I just don't look at them as a true contender. And as far as their direct comp with Tampa Bay, I think Tampa Bay is more likely to upset someone. I don't even know if it would be an upset, but to win their 4-5 round 1 playoff game than Houston is in the AFC. Houston in the AFC probably playing Baltimore or Pittsburgh in that game. Upset. I don't like that for either one of them. Go ahead.
All right. Well, the Eagles below the Bills? What the funk?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. This is Dusty. Dusty was in a mood today.
Yeah.
Did Dusty give you your bar?
He did not.
He gave me my bar. And I liked it.
Am I supposed to swear on that? Ramsey, can we correct mine?
I don't even swear. What the
first in mind?
But, Nick, look, what are we doing? The Eagles, you're supposed to be an Eagles guy.
I'm an Eagles.
They should be on the same tier as the Bills. I could argue, in fact, I have argued they should actually be ahead of the Bills, but I'm going to give you a little grace and just put them on the same tier as the Bills. Let me count the ways.
Fun converted empty? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. You just wanted a title there.
Yeah.
They are on a 10-game win streak, longest in the league. 4 of their last 5 victories have come against teams that would be in the playoffs should they start right now. All right? The Bills just lost a week ago to an 8-6 LA Rams team that's just getting it together. The Bills have given up 43 points a game in the last 2 games. Eagles haven't given up 30.
That's a good point.
Since week 4. Well, that was their last loss, by the way. The Eagles have probably, or certainly arguably, the best defense in the league. They got the best running back in the league, certainly arguably. They've got arguably the best receiving core, at least the 2 receivers in the league, and a quarterback who is not as good as Josh Allen. That's the only advantage for the Bills. But a quarterback who has been to the Super Bowl and has played well in that Super Bowl. So I just don't see how in the world the Bills should be ahead of the Eagles.
The committee thinks they're better. The records are close enough that it's what?
Yeah, Philly's got better records.
Yeah, no, but when the records are 1 game apart, then I think it's fair to have a more discerning touch to it. And I think Buffalo is better than Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC right now. I agree. I don't even know if I won't want to say I agree with you on that because I don't know if you think they're the best team in the NFC, but you think they should
right
be the
now,
highest ranked team.
favorite.
Yeah, in the NFC. But I think the two best teams, and the committee agrees with me, in football by a decent amount are the Chiefs and the Bills. Now that Detroit was there, but Detroit's defensive injuries have removed them, in our eyes, from the conversation. So, yeah, I mean, what?
I'm moving the Lions up.
Let's go, Wild.
I'm not buying. Oh, guys are hurt. Oh.
Are you buying the games that were on TV?
We're putting fans in now.
Let's go, Wild.
No, man. The guys on the Detroit Lions roster, you know what they are first and foremost? Detroit Lions. And that team believes in each other. And that's why when Aiden Hutchinson went down and everyone was ready to write off the Lions at that moment. Oh, yeah. Too bad. They had a good run. And what happened? The Lions defense actually somehow got better.
It's called playing Mac Jones.
I don't know how. No, they've been better. It wasn't just a one-game sample. Until we see the Lions fall apart. And last game was not falling apart as a team. You win some, you lose some. They've only lost 2 games. They beat both of the teams that are ahead of them. So that's they should easily be up there. Eagles, I like defense. You know what I say? Defense wins championships. But I like scoring too. Here's the numbers on scoring. Has the scoring gone down? If anything, it's going to go up. Jared Goff had one of his best games of his life the other night. So they're better than these 2 teams. So I like that. Experience. Honestly, I like to do 3 full screens here. I don't think this is totally relevant, but I do like the 3 experience when it comes to playoffs. Jared Goff is there. It's like, hey, I've been in a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, you've been in a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has been in a Super Bowl. We're in a little Super Bowl club. So I have trust in Jared Goff. His another go-round in the playoffs. And finally, we know Sonic and Knuckles. It's a little bit of a sad story. Gibbs can still get it done.
Yeah, he can.
He can still carry the workload. Make it work. We didn't expect the season to be flawless. No one's going to get through the season with no injuries. But I want to see the Lions get the respect that they've earned and not be prematurely dropped because of an injury report.
Good take, Lon.
When the powerhouse Bills barely squeak by.
Okay.
Yeah. Barely.
So
2 losses.
You're saying that we're prematurely panicking about the defense.
Mm-hmm.
We are reacting not only to the fact that they've allowed 79 points the last 2 weeks.
How many have the Bills allowed? But I'm just saying the Bills have allowed 90.
86. But the
all right. Then
no, I'm just
that is better.
No, I'm just telling you I just wanted it to be accurate what the number is. Yes, but what the Bills aren't doing is panicked. The Lions have panicked. And I know you agree with me because I made this point Monday in the A block about Dan Campbell telling everyone, I don't trust my defense. And Kevin Wilde said, I agree with you.
You said,
and so
you stayed on brand. Dan Campbell being Dan Campbell, right?
Here's what I think.
He's telling.
Yeah, he's got a reason. Like, you know what?
Yes.
This defense is not going to stop Josh Allen, so I got to do something.
Yes.
I like that.
Okay.
I like a coach with some.
That's totally fine, but that is saying you like the coach, understanding the team, going for it's great, but in the same breath is what the coach is saying is my defense isn't going to stop Josh Allen.
Nobody defense to stop Josh Allen. Josh Allen's on fire.
I get that, but defenses, you let Jordan Love have one of his better games of the year against you. I think that the Lions are an excellent team that got ruined by injuries. I think we see that happen in the NFL, sadly. Once every couple of years, a contender just gets clipped near the end because of injuries. I think one of the reasons the Chiefs didn't go back-to-back a few years ago was because of the offensive line injuries. I think it happens. So it's
offensive line injuries are tricky.
Well, your entire defensive roster injuries are tricky. So it's not I'm not trying to insult Detroit, and you're right that the season-long numbers still hold up really well for them. But I am really worried that they are a team going in that direction, and the team next to them, the Rams, are a team going in the other direction.
My final statement. Everything that people are saying about the Detroit Lions right now, and we use the same template full screen of look who they've lost, is the same template full screen we used for the Bills offseason.
Yeah.
We use the same one. Look at all these guys they've lost. They lost captains. They lost their number one offensive weapon. And next thing you know, a team that kind of like has a little bit of belief in them and a quarterback who's playing great is able to propel that team.
if I may,
to new
real
heights.
quick.
Shout out to the Kelsey.
And Greg, I think you'll back me up on this. Comparing off-season player movement to in-season player losses, when there is no free agency, there is no draft, the trade deadline has passed, the Bills could plan. We know we're losing these guys.
We thought the Bills were in a reset year. They lost so many people.
Some people did, some people didn't. But the Bills, whatever it was, they planned for it. The Lions didn't plan to lose 3 more. Coach all last week was saying the Lions defense is too banged up. Then they lost 2 more guys for the season due to injury in that game.
Next man up mentality.
Okay.
It's not an orchestra.
It's a mentality.
Not everyone's going to be there healthy.
You're the defense wins championships guy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.